Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Anita Library. I'm Anita and this is my library. Today we are going to be doing my June wrap up. I read 8 books in June. I will also talk about how I did with my June TBR that I planned and where I landed with it. Overall, I will say that I am proud of how much I accomplished off that TBR because that's my first time actually doing like a monthly TBR and like shooting for a goal like that, but I think it worked out okay. Did I read all the books? No, but I'm proud. I am proud, okay? We'll see here. So if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I make book content, obviously. I do TBR videos. I'm trying to switch up how I pick my TBRs just so it fits like my lifestyle and my mood and my vibe and like my preferences as far as picking TBRs. And I also love games, so I have another video coming soon about a game that I found from another content creator. I'll tell you about that in the next video hopefully, and it's really exciting. So if you're interested, please consider subscribing. If you like this style of video, if you like TBR reviews, like did I meet my TBR, or what is this, a wrap up. If you like monthly wrap ups or like book reviews and stuff like that, short book reviews, consider subscribing and giving the video a thumbs up, because that way I'll know that this is the type of stuff that you guys like and I'll make more. So without further ado, let's get right into my June wrap up. So in my June TBR, I said that I wanted to finish the Sarah J Maas ACOTAR series, A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and that was a lofty goal. I ain't even gonna lie, like I was feeling so confident in the video. I was like, yeah, I can totally do this. And then in real life, I was like, I don't know if I can do this, because I don't know that I've never finished a series that bad. They're thick boys, and like I said, I was very intimidated by fantasy, so I was not sure how I was gonna go with the goal, but I did end up finishing the rest of the series. I don't have the first book here because I finished that one in May. I was gonna say March. I finished it in May, but all of these I finished in June. So I'll just give you a quick synopsis or like feelings about the books. So this is the second book, Court of Mist and Fury. This is what like really got me into the series. I adored the first book. I gave it 5 stars. I gave this one 5 stars as well, but this is the one that really like sunk its teeth into me and like had me invested in the characters. First book, meh with the characters. This book had me more invested in the characters and their stories. And next I read A Court of Wings and Ruin. So up until this book, or through this book rather, I was reading them back to back to back. Like I didn't read a book in between the first 3 books. So it took me a little while to get through this one. This was a chonker. I want to say it's yeah, just over 700 pages in this book. So it was a lot. There were a lot of quests. There was a lot more world building, and it wasn't as much romance, which is fine, but the characters weren't really sitting for me, but I did like the ending. I did like the ending, and this is the first book to actually make me cry in this series. So I gave this one 4 stars if I'm not mistaken. So this is not a bad book, it's just not my favorite. Next, I feel like I speak for all of us when I say this is probably my least favorite book in the series. It is A Court of Frost and Starlight. This one is is it considered a novella because it's under 300 pages? It's 229 pages, so it was really short. Obviously, it probably took me like 4 hours to read this. And it gives like wintry vibes. It follows the winter solstice and like them getting gifts and having parties and stuff like that. So it's very like lighthearted and whatnot, but was it necessary in the series? Absolutely not. But if you needed a break from the war and the dying and all that, this could break up the series for you without having to abandon the series entirely. But after Court of Wings and Ruin, I definitely read 2 more books between these two, because I was like, I need a break. Didn't know that this one was going to give me such a break, but I'm not mad about taking a break from the series and then coming back to this, because this was really, really easy to get through and quick, and then I felt like it made it easy to jump into Silver Flames, A Court of Silver Flames. And this one is my favorite of the series. This is a big daddy. I want to say this has definitely over 700 pages. It is 757 pages in this book. This might be like the biggest book I've ever read, but I ate it up. I wouldn't be mad if this was longer. It is so good. I connected with one character that I was so not a fan of. I really, really connected with this character. I liked the journey of the character and like the enemies to lovers, and I very much like this. The quest that were in this, didn't mind. Again, I could have had them be longer and enjoyed it, which is not really like me. I'm not really someone who goes for like the action parts of books, but I have no complaints, and I'm really, really looking forward to her expanding the series. It is a fair guess that Sarah J. Maas's next book that is expected to come out next, like the beginning of next year, is going to be the next book in the series, because Throne of Glass is done. She just did Crescent City this year. It's time to continue on with these people here. So overall, I would give the entire series like a 4, maybe 4.5, just because these two, I don't know, like this one obviously wasn't necessary. This one dragged along for me, but I think part of that was my fault for trying to read it all the way through. Like, I've learned that's really not my vibe. That's not the way that I best gel with stories. I'm not saying to take a month in between, but reading them back to back to back like that just I couldn't do. Next, in between this series, I read, hold on, let me check my Goodreads so I'm not mistaken. I read Luca. I read that on Kindle Unlimited, and that one I ended up giving 3 stars. I know. It was a highly anticipated read for me. I was really, really excited about reading that and seeing the Luca energy, because that was a lot of people's book boyfriends and touch her and you die type man, and just like, whatever you need, I got you, protector, provider, like all of the things, which sounds great, awesome. However, I love a strong female character, and I don't want to shame her at all, but she wasn't standing on business, and I'm gonna say that. She was not standing on business as far as like coming out of something traumatic that she needed to heal from, she wanted to heal from. She said she's prioritizing getting back to a place where she's comfortable and not letting herself just throw caution to the wind and just do whatever she wants to do. And when she declared that, literally a day later, no more than 2, all of that was out the window and she was melting like putty in this guy's hands, which is fine. That's just not the type of female main character that I enjoy following. So I will say that the spice was spicy. Okay, so if you like spice, you won't be disappointed in that. Culturally, it is a book written by a Black author about Black stories. So culturally, like, I caught the vibe, the lingo. I learned some stuff. Okay, hello. I learned some things as far as like lingo and talk and vernacular and everything, and I'm like, oh, okay, like I feel like I was watching like a movie or whatever, and like me reading it, I could hear like the voices in my head, like with the accent and everything. It was a vibe. I'm not gonna hold you, it was a vibe, but I had to suspend disbelief. And for it to be like not magical realism, for it to not be fantasy, for it to not be YA, like, I don't love having to suspend disbelief in a romance, like an urban romance. Like, it was a 3. Like, I'm not mad at it. I don't want the time back that I read it, but it didn't live up to the hype for me. So there's that. That's all I have to say about Luca. Please don't fight me. Next, after I finished one of these other books from Court of Thorns and Roses, I read Their Vicious Games. This is a book that I've had. It's by Joelle Wellington. This is a book that I've had for months and months, and I knew it had like an interesting synopsis. It's dark academia. I keep saying all over and over again that I love dark academia, or at least the concept in my head. I loved it, and this is the book that confirmed. Like, it was such a vibe. This is a YA book. The female main character was a strong main character. She faced adversity. She stood on business, and I respected it. I respected it. She played the game, but she remained true to herself and her friends, her family, what mattered to her. Like, she stood on business, and I gave this 5 stars. I'll have to look into seeing if she has more books. This is her debut book, and I feel like this released this year, if not the end of last. Girl, I'm reading it upside down. That's what. Yeah. This released in 2023. So if she is coming out with something else, it might be a while, but 5 stars. 5 stars for me, absolutely. After that, I read Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon. This was my first Nicola Yoon book. I have 3 more on my shelves. And I kind of took a risk by buying so many books by an author that I haven't read from, but I just got a good feeling. And this was in the bargain table. 5 stars, first of all. 5 stars for this book. It's short. And I picked a short book because, like I said, I was in the middle of reading ACOTAR, and I just wanted like a quick little palate cleanser, something feel good, cute, and smushy, because look how in love and adorable they are. I was wrecked at the end of this. Like, I'm pretty sure I cried like audible tears, like like one of those. It's not just like crying at this, and I don't even want to hold it anymore because it's getting me worked up. But it is a beautiful, sweet romance. Like I said, I gave that 5 stars. It's YA. It does have a little bit of magical realism. The only critique I have for it is the magical realism was kind of just placed out of nowhere, and it wasn't really explained why or how or like what the intent was for this to be a part of this character's story and everything. It was very much a part of the book, like the effect of the magical realism, but like the cause and the why was lost on me. If you've read the book and like it made sense to you, please let me know in the comments, but it went over my head. But it seemed to me that the character understood, like, oh yeah, this is why this is happening to me. And I'm like, cool, girl, if you get it, love that for you. But for me as a reader, I was like, I don't understand. But yes, I think that was an adorable book. It wrecked me, okay, like I said. So afterwards, I was looking for something cute and sweet that I wasn't gonna cry over, and so I picked Reggie and Delilah's Year of Falling by Elise Bryant. Again, this is another one that I've had on my shelf for quite a while. This was really sweet. I think I ended up giving this one 3 stars. It was sweet and fluffy. Reggie is I'll just say both of them. Delilah and Reggie both are African American. She's biracial, black and white, and she has identity issues kind of based off of her being biracial and feeling like she is being like pigeonholed or like archetyped or critique or characterized, geez, that's a word, for like being a token in like a white space, and like that she's being used for her blackness but not like appreciated and honored and valued for her as an individual and like her art and her beauty and like a beauty in music, because she does music. She feels very much like a mascot, and she portrays, or at least Reggie, who is her like friend or love interest in this, he portrays her to be so confident and like firm in who she is and unafraid, but whole time like she is battling with standing up for herself. Reggie, same way. She perceives him to be so strong and like tell anybody anything how to say on his mind, and like he's unapologetically in love with nerdy things, Dungeons and Dragons, and like writing on his Dungeons and Dragons blog, and like wearing Dungeons and Dragons t-shirts, and playing in his basement with his friends and going to conventions. She thinks he's so like unafraid about this, but the whole time he's actually very much not, and he wants to kind of separate his identity as a Dungeons and Dragons nerd. And I say nerd with love because I identify as a nerd myself. I have played Dungeons and Dragons. And he separates his nerdness from everything else in his life, his family. His friends are nerds as well, but he doesn't like bring it to school. He doesn't like wear it like a badge of honor the way that Delilah thinks he does. So they both have misconceived notions of each other, but it's something that kind of they slowly grow through individually and work through together in their relationship. The third act breakup was, everybody hates third act breakups, okay? Especially in like YA books. Like, we know it's coming. We know it's gonna be something juvenile, but and that's how I felt in this one. I was like, oh boy. Like, you could see it 10 miles away why the third act breakup was gonna happen, and I was like, all right, this is, but overall the book was decent. It did what it needed to do, what I needed it to do, which was recover me from this and just give me a little easy breezy before I finished my ACOTAR series. So those are all of the books that I read, I'm pretty sure. Yep, those are all the books that I read in June. I believe my TBR video is already up for July, so if you haven't watched that, I'll link it in the cards, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what's on your TBR, and did you meet your goal? Because I obviously did not meet my goal. I'll also link my June TBR in the cards as well, so you can see like what did I plan on reading and what I actually end up reading. But hopefully July will be better. If not, then I tried. Okay, I try all the time, every month. So we shall soon see. But again, I hope you liked this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and consider subscribing before you go. Other than that, I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.